Hello, people of God. This is my Jacob's Way TV, and I'm Dupi Dupi Singer. This is episode 89. Episode 89. I was talking about Kingsley, if you remember. Kingsley, a lawyer that became a madman on the streets of Yaba. I said that one day we were driving, I think, out of the altar, I was going to drop him in my showroom for the day. And he just shouted. He was sitting at the back of the car. He said, That's my classmate. That's my classmate." I said, "Classmate where?" Because remember, he went to school in the village. He said, "In University of Lagos." Wow. That was a chance for me to find out if he was saying the truth or not. So I parked the car and reversed carefully. And we met a well dressed young man, a well dressed gentleman. And immediately I parked beside him. I said, "Hello, young man." He said, "How are you, ma?" Well, once he sighted Kingsley, he took to his heels. I mean, maybe not that he ran, but at least he was like walking fast away. I asked him, "Why are you running away?" He said, "That's a madman." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, that's a madman." I said, "But he recognizes you, or he recognized you." He said, "Well, I know him. He was my classmate." That was what I wanted to hear. He said, "But he ended up like a madman, a Yaba." I said, "But she says he's sitting in my car. Nothing is wrong. Wait." He was able to come back after a while, watching me for you. When he walked back to me, the first thing he asked me is, "Madam, what did you give to him that is making him gentle like this? Is this how you drive him around? He doesn't get into any violence?" I said, "No." He said to me, "This guy, is, if you're a Nigerian and you're a Lagosian, you understand when they say somebody is a madman from Yaba name." I said, "Are you just saying that figuratively?" Or he said, "Both figuratively and literally." He was a Yaba madman. He would throw stones, people ran away from him and all that. He said, "But he's a brilliant chap." I pleaded with the guy. I introduced myself. He asked me, "How did you meet him?" I said, "I met him. I met him. The Lord brought him to me." I introduced myself and he said, "Singer, singer." Incidentally, my husband had happened to be his father's own friend. They belonged to the same social club. I remember the man's name. And he said to me, "What did you do to him? Is he always like this?" I said, "He has never been violent." By that time I had been driving him to Ibadan and back. You'll be surprised. I've been driving him to Ibadan. He would be in my car. It was the man in the car. It was the man. He said, and he never became violent. He looked at me again. I said, "What kind of a person are you?" I said, "I'm just a normal person." I told him the Lord told me that people are frustrated. That's why they look like they are mad. And that the guy had told me a story. I wonder if he ever told his classmates. So I told him a story. He had more pity for him. And he reiterated all the stories that Kingsley had told me. He told me that Kingsley tutored him in some of the courses because everybody recognized him to be far ahead of all of them in intelligence and in academics. And that's he was the son of a very rich man. We always give him money, and that was the money that he went by. And then the guy said to me, called me aside and said to me, "What did you give him?" He said, "Look at me. I am actually secretly a patient of the psychiatric hospital in Yaba. I fear God. He brought out his medications. He said, if I don't take my medications at the right time, I could go gather. So I'm carrying them around. I look like a normal human being. In case you hear the sound of light behind me, that is a sign that Almighty Nepa has brought light. It won't disturb this video. The guy said to me, look at my medications. If I don't take them, so you showed me his clock. He had to put an alarm. If he doesn't take them at the right time, he might just go mad. And he said to me, he normally, in spite of all the medications, he could not sleep. I said, but Kingsley sleeps. And the guy did like this. Huh? What do you give him? Hmm. Do you know that our local people say that the day a madman sleeps, he actually starts to get better? Because I guess that one of the things that triggers off mental problem is the inability to sleep. The medical people call it insomnia. Oh. And I said to him, there is a herb that I give to him. I don't want to talk about God's good yet, but I must tell you, children of God, that when God gives you an errand and sends you on an errand, He knows all the things you need in the course of your journey, and He knows how to put all of them together as a package for you. While I was in the bush alone, I used to go around, sometimes while away time. I'll be counting the numbers of plants in a particular, I could draw a little space for myself. I'll say to the Lord and wink to the Lord and say, do you know, in this little space, I found like 150 different kinds of plants. I'll say to the Lord and I wink to Him, you are just a wonderful God. Ha! And I will say to the Lord, you have not created anything that is useless. All these ones must have reasons why you created them. They must have curative capabilities. I thought I was just having a chat with the Lord until the Lord decided to start to show me some curative abilities of some of the plants. He said to me that it was there that the Lord told me. He said to me, you recognize the fact that I am the one that created the plants. It was a striking question. I said, yes, Lord. He said, but you realize that many people always tend to think that it is the devil that has created some plants. And that is why, the herbalists do incantations and all that kind of things. And people always think that herbs take their origin from the devil. It was like educating me. But that is the truth. When you talk about some herbs, some people just first of all think about herbalists and devilish things. The Lord said, you recognize the fact that I am. He asked me, what is it that the devil created? I had to think. It took me a while to think. And I said to the Lord, nothing actually, Lord. He said, aha, thank you. Do you recognize? I said, Lord, but you even created him. He said, thank you. And he said to me, because you recognize that fact and you give me glory for the plants, I will begin to show you the curative abilities of some of the plants. And that was one of the ones he gave to me that I call God's Gold. They come in a series. It's one of the ones that I gave to Kingsley. I told the guy, so it's a herb that the Lord showed me. He said, what? He sleeps without the psychiatric hospital prescriptions. So you ask him. If you allow him to sit down for a while, he will sleep off. It never struck me that he had a problem with sleep. When I introduced the herbs to Kingsley, just told me, Madam, I like sweet things. So I still had to go and look for some kind of juice and add to it and make a juice for him. But he was taking it and he was sleeping and he was getting better. Ha! Hmm. There are so many things we have to thank God for. One day, Kingsley did a very terrible thing and made me slap him about 10 to 15 times. I was angry with him. And I was alone with him in the bush. Hmm. You know what he said? You should be chastising me for slapping a madman. He was not mad. He said to me, Madam, I cannot fight you. I can never raise my hand against you. You have been very kind to me. No wonder kindness is one of the fruits of the spirit. This is my Jacob's Way TV. I'm Dupi Dupi Singer. Please subscribe and do all the needful. Share. The Lord knows the way through the wilderness. All we have to do is to follow. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.